Great, thanks, Colton. Hello, I am Juliana Reshik, and I serve as the chair of the Continuing Nurse Education and IV Therapy Committee of the Kansas State Board of Nursing. I ask that the members of the Continuing Nurse Education and IV Therapy Committee to respond to a roll call signifying their presence at this open meeting via conference call. Lori Owen.
Here.
Andrea Watson. I believe she's absent. Giovanni Gonnet, and I believe she's absent. Well, yeah. And Melanie Burnett.
Here.
Karen Oftenberg.
Here.
And Teresa Sanderson.
Here.
Great, thank you. I ask the following staff members to signify their attendance. Carol Moreland, Executive Administrator.
Here.
Chelsea Stevenson, Education Specialist.
Here.
And Michelle Brown, Senior Administrative Assistant.
Here.
Great, thanks. Public comment allows individuals to address the Continuing Nurse Education and IV Therapy Committee about their concerns, but the Kansas Open Meetings Act, which is known as COMA, does not require the Continuing Nurse Education and IV Therapy Committee to provide public comment or answer questions from individuals. Public comment will not be taken today because there is the possibility that the connection for this remote meeting may be lost over time, and the time for the meeting may not allow everyone who is present to comment. Additionally, we will not know what comments an individual may make, and we would want to provide notice to the public of our intent to discuss a particular matter so that the public may listen and observe our discussion. Because we are conducting this public meeting remotely by Zoom and YouTube, I state for the record the following information. On June 13th, 2022, the board sent notice of the meeting for the Continuing Nurse Education and IV Therapy Committee to all individuals who have requested notice of the committee's meetings. Additionally, the notice and agenda were posted on the board's website, ksbn.kansas.gov. You may obtain a copy of the notice and agenda at the website or by sending an email to carol.moreland@ks.gov with the subject line, request for the agenda, and the board staff will send it to you. The notice contains the internet links to access the meeting by Zoom and YouTube, and the notice also contains the Zoom telephone number to attend this meeting by telephone call. All of these electronic mediums allow the public to attend the meeting free of charge. The notice also advises individuals to contact the board's office at 785-296-2967 if they experience any technical issues during the meeting. The only mediums for interactive communication offered for this meeting are the connections by Zoom and YouTube as previously stated. Each member of the committee, board staff, or presenter shall state the person's name and title each time the person speaks or votes, as the case may be. Each participant to the meeting shall ensure microphones, phones, or other electronic devices are on mute when the participant is not speaking. Each motion will be clearly stated before the committee votes, and the chair will announce the results of the final vote. A statement or motion will clearly identify and authorize by delegation each member of the committee or staff who will be permitted to sign any document on behalf of the committee. A recording of the meeting will be posted to the board's website. The committee has the following items listed on its agenda: call to order, review of on-site packet, additions or revisions to the agenda, announcements, approval of minutes for the meeting held in March 29th of 2022, unfinished business, new business, agenda for the committee meeting in September of 2022, and adjournment. Although the items listed in the agenda do not include an executive session, however, if the committee elects to exercise the option to go into executive session, the committee will follow this process. First, the committee must be in open session before going into an executive session. Then a motion will be made and seconded. Pursuant to KSA 74-4319B, the motion must contain the statement of justification for the closure of the subjects to be discussed and the time and place that the open meeting will resume. If a motion for executive session passes, Public will be excluded from this portion of the meeting as the executive session will be conducted by electronic means that will not be made available to the public. The committee members will return to the open meeting after the executive session. The open meeting will resume when the committee members return to the Zoom and YouTube meeting after the executive session. The complete motion for an executive session will be recorded in the minutes. The meeting is now called to order and the committee will now consider the next item on the agenda. So our first thing is the review of on-site packet. I don't believe there was one. Was there, Chelsea? Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't miss it. So any additions or revisions to the agenda?
Madam Chair, this is Chelsea Stevenson, Education Specialist. I do have one addition to the agenda. We need to add Hutchinson Community College underneath unfinished business renewals, point F. That won't be reviewing an application, but just an update on that providership. And when we're ready, Michelle does have a motion to make that change to the agenda.
Okay, so tell me that again. It goes under
unfinished business renewals, and it should be point F after Salina Regional. And it's Hutchinson Community College.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Michelle, you want to read us a motion?
Is there a committee member that would like to make the following motion? I move to amend the agenda to include Hutchinson Community College beneath new business LTP 5-year renewals.
This is Lori Owen, board member. I'll make that motion.
Thanks, Lori.
This
There a
is
second?
second it.
Thanks, Melanie. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. And any announcements, Chelsea?
Madam Chair, this is Chelsea Stevenson, Education Specialist. I just wanted to let this committee know that I have resigned my position with the Board of Nursing. I'm very sad to share this, but I wanted to let you all know my final day will be July 22nd with the agency. And I just wanted to express my appreciation to the committee and the board for this opportunity. I've learned so much in this position and have enjoyed getting to know all of you. So I'll still be here for a few more weeks, but I just wanted to give everybody a heads up.
Well, Chelsea, we appreciate all you've done for us. You've certainly made a big impact on this committee and keeping us organized and getting through our business. And we appreciate sincerely all you've done. You've done a great job. So thank you. We wish you the best of luck. So. Any other announcements? Okay, let's look at our minutes from March. We would entertain a motion when the board is ready.
Is there a committee member that would like to make the following motion? I move to approve the March 29th, 2022 Continuing Nurse Education and IV Therapy Committee minutes as written.
This is Lori Owen, board member. I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Lori.
This is Teresa Sanderson, committee member. I will second that.
Thank you, Teresa. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Any opposed signify by saying no. Motion carries. Okay, moving down to our unfinished business, an update on our CNE regulations.
This is Carol Moreland, and just to kind of let you know that 60-9-106 is still out there. Everything kind of got pushed aside a little bit for all the APRN regulation changes that had to be in place by July 1st. And most of the reviewing agencies were only looking at those that needed to be through the system by July 1st. So I will start back on it and give you an update in September.
That sounds great. Thank you, Carol. We understand. I know it's been very busy. So how about the 5-year legislative review? We'll start with KSA 60-12-104.
This is Chelsea. I believe that is in your packet. We've included a couple of different regs because 60-12-104 refers, it's for the licensed mental health technicians, and it refers to KAR 60-9-107. So you will see those, that reference just right behind that. And the same goes for 60-12-105. It also references the 60-9-105. So these are our statutes for our licensed mental health techs.
Any questions?
Are they wanting to change something in it? Because it looked good to me.
Great. I didn't have any concerns either. Michelle, I don't know if you have a motion for us or.
I do have a motion. Is there a committee member that would like to make the following motion? I move to approve KAR 60-12-104 as written.
This is Melanie. I'll make that motion.
Thanks, Melanie.
This is Teresa Sanderson, committee member. I will second that.
Thank you, Teresa. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Yes. Any opposed signify by saying no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, now we'll look at, excuse me, the definitions under KSA 60-12-105. I think this is page 12, right, Chelsea?
Yes. And it's the same thing. This is just for our 5-year legislative review. So I don't believe there's any changes. Again, it's referencing that 60-9-105. And again, for our licensed mental health techs.
Any questions or discussion? If not,
No, and
Go
motion
ahead.
takes.
Sorry, Melanie, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I said no, and I would make a motion to accept as is.
Great, thanks. Is there a second?
This is Lori Owen, board member. I'll second.
Thanks, Lori. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And any opposed, same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, we'll head into our initial long-term provider applications. And I'm not sure I'm going to say this right. Is it Elspiri?
I think so. That's how I've been saying it.
Okay. So Elspiri Nursing Education. And this was me and I'm not sure who else I tried to.
I have those. It was you and Giovanni. So she
Okay.
was absent today.
I did not have any concerns. It looked like to me that they had met all the marks. So Michelle, I would ask if there is a motion.
Is there a committee member that would like to make the following motion? I move to approve the initial CNE provider application for L3 nursing education.
This is Lori Owen, board member. I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Lori. Is there a second?
This is Karen Offenberg, committee member, and I'll second.
Thank you, Karen. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Any opposed signify by saying no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Our next agenda item is the GEM Healthcare Consulting. And I have written down page 48.
And this is Lori and Melanie.
Thank you.
I didn't see any concerns when I went through it. Everything looked good on my end, or that I noticed.
Okay.
I didn't see anything. The only thing that I questioned was I didn't see a summary of their evaluations, but I mean, they had the evaluation in there and it looked good.
Okay, Michelle, we would entertain a motion.
Is there a committee member that would like to make the following motion? I move to approve the initial CNE provider application for GEM Healthcare Consulting.
This is Lori Owen, board member. I'll make that motion.
Thanks, Lori.
This is Karen Offenberg, committee member. I second.
Thanks, Karen. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Any opposed signify by saying no. And any abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, so now we're at Johnson County Department of Health and Environment.
Karen and Andrea.
Okay.
This is Karen. I noticed on their certificate of attendance, in their policy, they had that date should be on the certificate, but on their sample, I didn't see a date listed, but it kind of scanned dark towards the bottom, so it might be in the area I wasn't able to see. On their two programs they submitted, I didn't see an instructor's bio or CV on either one. And I didn't see a summary of planning, but otherwise I think everything else looked okay.
Madam Chair, this is Chelsea. I do have comments from Andrea. She noted the same thing as Karen. The two sample offerings did not see the instructor's education. And then also the program coordinator CV does not list 1-year experience in developing and implementing nursing education.
I caught that one too. Sorry, I forgot to mention it.
So is there a recommendation?
Madam Chair, this is Chelsea. In the past, and I can certainly do this, the committee has and board have approved their providership contingent upon receiving those updated items. So if that's something the committee would like to do, then we can word the motion as such, and I can reach out to them to get that.
Karen, you comfortable with that? Michelle, can you read a motion?
Michelle, I would modify that motion that we have to say to approve the initial application pending receipt of documentation.
Is there a committee member that would like to make the following motion? I move to approve the initial CNE provider application for Johnson County Department of Health and Environment pending receipt of updated documents.
This is Karen Offenberg, committee member. I so move.
Thanks, Karen.
This is Teresa Sanderson, committee member. I second.
Thank you, Teresa. Any discussion?
Will they specify which documentation needs to be updated?
I think we will in our communication to the Johnson County Department of Health and Environment. Is that correct, Chelsea?
Correct, yes. And then it will also be specified in the minutes from this meeting as well.
Great.
Oh.
Any other discussion or questions? Okay, all in favor signify by saying yes.
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 And any opposed signify by saying no. Any abstentions? Okay, motion carries. We'll go to our new business, our IOA statistical report, Chelsea.
Yes, so that is on page 119 of your packet. You can kind of see the trends over the last 3 months there. The amount of IOAs that we've received have gone down. However, it's been very busy in receiving single offering CNE provider applications. We have had 10 of those received and only one ended up withdrawing your application. So lots of new providers out there, which is great news. So other than that, we're kind of just steady on.
Okay, thank you for the information. Moving on to our long-term provider 5-year renewals. Care for Associates, I think it's on page 120.
This is Giovanni and Teresa.
Okay. So what did
Yep. Well, for Care for, I think most everything looks good. However, on page 134, there's section 4.1 titled General Guidelines. They have the old verbiage in there that the CE would apply to RN, LPN, and LMHT. So, and then on the announcement for legal issues for healthcare providers, no, I think it was correct on that announcement. The verbiage was correct on that announcement that it's APRN, RN, and LPN. And then a question on the bibliography. I actually found this, that the references are older than KSA 60-9-107 indicates. It indicates 10 years for books and 5 years for periodicals. And so many of them are 2004, 2011, 2012, 2015. So just overall though, like I say, everything was submitted, everything looked good. There's just a couple of really technical kind of issues.
Are those things that you would like to see resubmitted, or would you maybe like to just make note for next time they submit?
I suppose I might like to get some feedback from the board on that. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of new, so I apologize.
No, you're good. In my opinion, I think those might be just noted that we would approve, but then for the next time, we might like to see some more updated references and then making sure their language is current.
That
Right.
sounds good to me. And I mention it because I found it not only on this application, but also in the other one that I reviewed for this round. So, all right. Yeah, I definitely.
Karen, Lori, let others chime in.
This is Melanie. I think a reminder that they should use more current reference material.
I agree with that.
Michelle, can you help us with a possible motion?
So would you like to add that next time you would like to see more updated language or updated reference material?
Yes, both of them.
Madam Chair, this is Chelsea Stevenson. Would you like to include that in the motion, or would the committee just like to direct me to have that conversation with the provider?
That would be fine. I think just to have, if you'll just have that conversation, Chelsea, and
Yes,
then that.
I will. So I think that Michelle, our motion can stay as we have it prepared.
Okay. Is there a committee member that would like to make the following motion? I move to approve the long-term CNE provider 5-year renewal application for Care for Associates.
This is Teresa Sanderson, committee member. I so move.
Thank you, Teresa.
This is Lori, on board member. I'll second.
Thanks, Lori. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Any opposed signify by saying no. And any abstentions? Okay, motion carries. We're on to Dodge City Community College. This was another one of mine. I'm not sure.
And Melanie as well.
And Melanie, okay.
Yep. I didn't see any issues with it.
I did not either. I thought it was all very well put together, honestly.
As did I.
Michelle, do you have a motion for us?
Is there a committee member that would like to make the following motion? I move to approve the long-term CNE provider 5-year renewal application for Dodge City Community College.
This is Karen Offenberg, committee member. I so move.
Thank you, Karen. Second?
It's Teresa Sanderson, committee member. I second.
Thank you, Teresa. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Any opposed signify by saying no. Any abstentions? Motion carried. Lawrence Memorial Hospital.
This is Lori and Karen.
I had a question. I was a little confused about the CNE coordinator. In one, I think at the beginning it said Nathan Jones. That was on page 208. And then on the, I think the sample certificate, maybe page 220, Teresa Faust, Faust signed it. And I didn't see a CV on the CNE coordinator. So I was a little confused on that.
Madam Chair, this is Chelsea Stevenson. Lawrence Memorial just had a coordinator change about 2 days before they submitted their application. So I believe it is their director of nursing that submitted the application. And then their coordinator, I did not catch that it's not in the packet, but they had just sent me the CV for the new coordinator that I approved. So that's probably why it was missing from this packet. But I believe that Mr. Sarver is their director of nursing who actually did this renewal application.
And we do have the documents then, so.
Yes, we do.
Thank you. And then I noticed I did not see a total program evaluation. And on one of the bibs, the same scenario, some of the, it was outdated past the limits that we have.
I didn't see that as well.
So is this one that we would just like to have Chelsea make note of that? Or would you like to see the documents presented?
Did you see a total program eval come through, Chelsea? Or I did
No,
overlook it.
no, it's not in there. And June renewals are a little bit confusing, I think, because our providers are also doing their annual reports in which they have to submit the total program evaluation as well. So it may be, and I've missed it here, but where they submitted it for their annual report and did not include it in the renewal packet. So that's certainly something I can reach out to and get that from them. And it's up to the committee if you would like to wait to approve them until we have that or not.
Well, I'm open to what the group would want. Karen, do you have a recommendation?
Chelsea, I'm sure you look those over when they come in, and
Yeah.
they're turning it in for their annual. I'm fine as long as that looks okay. I mean, if there's any corrections, we can let them know.
Mm-hmm.
So approve it pending submission of that document.
I think, is Lori okay?
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, I agree.
Michelle, do you have a motion for us?
I just want to clarify. So do we want to approve pending the receipt of the evaluation?
The total
Yeah.
program evaluation.
Is there a committee member that would like to make the following motion? I move to approve the long-term CNE provider 5-year renewal application for Lawrence Memorial. Oh, I'm sorry. We are Dodge City.
No.
No, we're on
Lawrence.
Lawrence. Okay, I got mixed up. Okay, I will start over. Is there a committee member that likes to make the following motion? I move to approve the long-term CNE provider 5-year renewal application for Lawrence Memorial Hospital pending receipt of the total program evaluation.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
Just Melanie.
Thank you, Melanie. Is there a second?
This is Lori Owen, board member. I'll second.
Thank you, Lori. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Any opposed signify by saying no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, Midland Care Connection. I think we're on page 254 of your packet.
This is Andrea and Teresa.
Yes, and this is Teresa Sanderson, committee member, and I thought that this this renewal was really well put together. I found everything within it. The only thing, both of the bibliographies were outdated, many of the references. So I would be very comfortable recommending that we approve the renewal with a reminder, as we said before, for the other organization.
Okay.
And Andrea's comments was just that all information was provided.
Great. Okay. Chelsea, if you'd be comfortable with adding a reminder to that when you communicate with them, we'll entertain Michelle's motion.
Is there a committee member that would like to make the following motion? I move to approve the long-term CNE provider 5-year renewal application for Midland Care Connection.
This is Teresa Sanderson, committee member. I so move.
Is there a second?
Karen Offenberg, committee member, second.
Thanks, Karen. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Any opposed signify by saying no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, and Salina Regional Health Center, this was my last one, I think.
And Giovanni.
Giovanni, okay. I did not find any issues with this one either. So it was pretty concise. Michelle, you wanna?
Is there a committee member that would like to make the following motion? I move to approve the long-term CNE provider 5-year renewal application for Salina Regional Healthcare.
This is Melanie. I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Melanie. Is there a second?
This is Lori Owen, board member. I'll second.
Thanks, Lori. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Any opposed signify by saying no. And any abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, so this is our added one, Hutchison. Is it Hutchison Community College? Is that who you said it was? Okay.
Yes, so I was contacted by them. They've had a recent coordinator change. And just in communicating, we discovered that our tracking system here at the board office was incorrect. They should have been up for renewal in June. We had them down in September. So Hutchinson Community College is currently offering CNE. So what I would like to do is request permission from the committee and board to grant them a 3-month extension on their providership so that they can continue to do so. We already have their renewal application on hand, so it could be included in the September board packet for review at that time.
Well, I appreciate them being on the ball and contacting you. So that's great.
So we do, if the committee would feel comfortable moving forward with that, Michelle does have a motion prepared for that.
Any questions or concerns? Okay, Michelle, let's hear your motion.
Is there a committee member that would like to make the following motion? I move to approve an extension for CNE provider Hutchison Community College, granting approval through September 30th of 2022.
This is Karen Offenberg, committee member. I so move.
Thanks, Karen. Is there a second?
This is Melanie. I'll second that.
Thanks, Melanie.
They're staying on the ball.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Any opposed signify by saying no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Great. Thanks, Chelsea. Okay, initial long-term provider applications. Our first one is last made first.
Lori and Melanie.
I didn't see any issues with this one, flipping through it at all. I did have a question. Oh, I'm sorry, I was looking at Medline. I had a question on the Medline one, not on this one. I didn't see any issues with this one.
Thanks, Melanie.
Yep.
I didn't see anything either in it. Going through, everything looked good.
Great. Thanks, Lori. Michelle, we'll take a motion when you're ready.
Is there a committee member that would like to make the following motion? I move to approve the initial CNE provider application for last made first.
This is Lori Owen, board member. I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Lori. Is there a second?
It's Melanie. I'll second it.
Thanks. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And any opposed signify by saying no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right, and our last one is MedAlign Innovative Solutions LLC.
This is Karen and Andrea.
I thought this one looked really good. I had everything met. The only thing I saw that I questioned on page 361, they had fractions of hours broken down. And for 30 minutes, they had equaling 0.5 contact hour. And I think that should be 0.6 if it's based on the 50-minute hour.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I thought it looked really good.
Andrea's comments were just that the education and experience of the coordinator wasn't explicitly provided in the CV, but it was in the biography for the CE offerings that the coordinator would be presenting on. Those were her only comments.
Okay. And Melanie, did you say you had some questions about this one?
Yeah, and it was about the fractions of hours, because my understanding is you can't give anything less than 1 unless it's like 1.5 or 1.25. Am I wrong in that belief?
No, that's correct. They have to offer at least one CNE contact hour, so 50 minutes of learning. Once that one contact hour has been earned, then they can give fractions, but it has to be at least that one. So.
Now,
That's right.
I have a question about that, because if you read I remember, I'm so old, I remember when they changed the regulation and they said we can now give credit for 30 minutes. And so I've been a little confused going through these providerships, because if you read the regulation, it talks about the 1 hour, but it also gives you the option of an approved provider may award any of the following. And number 1 is contact hours as documented on an offering agenda for the actual time attended, including partial credit for 1 or more contact hours. And number 2 is credit for fraction of hours over 30 minutes to be computed towards a contact hour. I think when it was changed, they should have maybe changed number 1, because it is very confusing if you read the regulations.
Mm-hmm.
This is Teresa Sanderson, board member. I agree with Karen. I think that it's just not clear. And I believe it does sound that we can like anyone can offer, a fraction of an hour, half hour CE or 0.5 or whatever, without it having to be in addition to 1 full CE credit hour.
Charles, I see you're on here with us. I don't know if you have any comments. He might have stepped away.
Yep. But that was my question right there. It looks like they are actually giving only a half hour or only 3/4 of an hour. And I thought, my understanding is you have to have the 1 hour with that.
That's something I can reach out to, and I can either just give them a heads up, or if you'd like them to modify their policy before, we could do that contingent approval. It's up to you all. But.
And I would like, can we get a clarification on that? Because I do remember when they did change that to, we could give credit for.
I'm going to turn it over to regulation expert
If
Carol.
somebody could clarify that, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Carol has probably way more insight than I do.
This is Carol Moreland, and if you would like, I can research this and bring it back in September. And then if you still don't really like the way that it's worded and stuff, you have the option to revise it because this particular one, this is 107. Yeah, this particular one has been approved by the Department of Administration and the Attorney General, but it hasn't been all the way through the process. It's waiting for 106 to catch up with it. So if you wanted to change it, now would be the time to do it. But I can certainly talk to Charles and try to understand the legal interpretation of this and bring that back in September if you want me to.
I think we would appreciate that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, with Medline, is our committee comfortable having Chelsea provide that feedback to Medline Innovative Solutions LLC?
We might want to know that we're researching that or something, communicate that to them so they don't get blindsided as to what's fair practice in offering those hours. Because if they're giving a bunch of nurses 30-minute 0.5 hours and then we're not going to allow them to utilize them, you know what I mean? It doesn't seem fair.
Oh, certainly what I can do, or what the committee could direct us to do, is we could approve their providership application pending updated policies and request that they change that section in their policy and procedures to meet regulations as they are now. And so I think that would maybe address the need now. And then as Carol researches and you all move forward, then certainly, everyone's policies and procedures would need to change if that's how it is going to be moving forward. But I think right now I can just request them to update that. And then as soon as I have that in hand and make sure it matches regulation, then I could go ahead and send them their approval.
That would make more sense, I think.
I'm good with that too.
Great, thank you. Michelle, you read us a motion?
Is there a committee member that would like to make the following motion? I move to approve the initial CNE provider application for Medline Innovative Solutions LLC pending updated policies.
This is Melanie. I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Melanie. Is there a second?
This is Karen. I'll second.
Thanks, Karen. All right, any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Any
Yes.
opposed signify by saying no. Any abstentions? Okay, motion carries. So we're down to our agenda for September, our September meeting, and we just talked about bringing that regulation back. Trying to understand some history, if you'll connect with Charles on that. And then also our updated CNE regulations, like what you talked about.
Right.
Anything else? Okay. Well, I really appreciate everyone. I think this might have been our fastest CNE committee meeting ever. So we've had a couple of very long ones. So thanks for bearing with us. And Chelsea, again, we thank you very much for all you've done for us. We wish you the best of luck, sincerely. So done a great job. All right. We will consider ourselves adjourned until September then. Have a great afternoon.
Hi, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.